Thank you. That was a, 1 second. That was a Horace Silver composition called Sister Sadie. My name is LYLE. If you don't know me, thank you all who are here who come to see me. I got people actually from my Little League baseball team who are here. This is my hometown of Newport Beach, California, so I feel very at home here. Please give it up for Tim Ellis, the curator, manager, Campus Jacks. Please give it up for Golden running sound. And to my amazing band, I would like to introduce you to a trio that I play with on the regular, who's also on my album, LA Source Codes. This is the release show for LA Source Codes, so please welcome, thank you. Please welcome the great John Mayer on piano. John was an alumnus of the great John Coltrane's band and Jackie McLean's band and many others, and we call him the original and the best, John Mayer. So thank you for being here. And so a little while ago, I was talking to John about horn players, and I'm like, man, who should we get on saxophone? I called Bob Shepard, who's originally on the record, and he was coming off of a plane, so he, you know, and I hadn't been in LA for a few months, and John goes, "Oh, I know this great young tenor player. His name is Brandon Wilkins." And it's really funny because Brandon and I went to Berkeley together. We were college colleagues. So give it up, please, fellow SoCal native. And I'm like, "Brandon, we got to get Brandon." So thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. And then finally, this man needs no introduction because he is such a legend, and we're so blessed to have him here. He's played with them all. He was an alumnus of Cannonball Adderley's band for many years, and he's a fixture here in SoCal, local legend, and also tours all around the world still. And he's such an inspiration to me because he's old enough to be my granddad, but he wakes up earlier than me every morning. He works out, and it's just like, man, like I have no excuses. And so, what a force of nature and an amazing drummer. Please give it up for Mr. Roy McCurdy on the drums. Man, oh man. So, we're gonna do a tune now off of my album, LA Source Codes, and this is called Number 1 Green Street. This is by the guitarist Grant Green. Thank you. I'm just going to move this. That was number 1 Green Street off my record, LA Source Codes, by the guitar player Grant Green. This is an original tune of mine that I wrote living in New York. So I'm for those who don't know, I'm originally from SoCal, but I moved to New York in September of last year. And it's been quite the experience. A little more on that later, but I wrote this tune because I've been playing. A good friend of mine is a protege, if you will, of a famous saxophone player named Vincent Herring, who was on the road for many years with the great trumpet player Freddie Hubbard and just tons of other people, you know. And he lives up in New York, so we got the chance to play at his house a few times, and he's driven me home and stuff, and made dinner for me. So I wrote a tune dedicated to him called Red Herring. And the red herring is an expression. It's kind of like a clue in a mystery that's supposed to throw you off. So originally I kind of wrote it to make fun of him a little bit, but then hopefully it makes it into his repertoire. So this is called Red Herring. Thank you. My original tune, Red Herring. Okay, so I would like to play. Play some solo bass for you now. So my, you guys can go hang out off stage if you want. I'm about to do a couple tunes solo. If you can. All right. Give it up for these amazing musicians, please. They helped me out. They really did me a solid by making it out to this gig. So. All right, so we have a little bit of stalling time. No, I'm kidding. So I live in New York City. I live actually right off of the A train. Take the A Train is a famous jazz tune by the great Duke Ellington. And it's funny because I live right off the A train. So I live off the A train where Duke used to live off of. Billy Strayhorn actually wrote the tune to honor Duke Ellington, and because that's how he would go to get to Duke's house up in Harlem, is he'd take the A train. And Lawrence Welk, a very famous musical director back in the 70s and 80s, his joke was take a train. So instead of take the A train, say, okay, take a train, when he was wanted to announce his band, Take the A Train. Never do that joke again, okay. Yeah, and New Yorkers are interesting. You go to downtown Manhattan and you see a bunch of Dodgers hats, and then in downtown LA you see Yankees hats. But there's really a lot of city pride in New York. I went on a date. I use the online dating app sometimes. And I went on a date with, I've never heard her talk before. We only talked over text, and we met up at a diner, just to say hi and whatever. And the second she opened her mouth, she's had the biggest New York accent. It was it really threw me off. She sounded like Snooki from Jersey Shore and Cardi B. But it's okay. We had a good time, and it was just funny because it's like, if you're from New York, you'd have the accent, Anyway, so this is a tune. Speaking of dates, this is a great ballad by Duke Ellington called "Prelude to a Kiss." And I'm almost done talking. I have a Duke Ellington class this semester, and my teacher is an encyclopedia about Duke Ellington. Like, he really knows everything there is to know about Duke. So this is a great Duke composition called "Prelude to a Kiss." Thank you. Prelude to a Kiss. Okay, I'd like to invite my saxophone player, Brandon Wilkins, back up to the stage. We're about to do a duet. You good on Lover? Yeah. Okay. So back in the 40s, there was a great tenor saxophone player named Don Byas, who really, if anybody's a jazz fan in here, Don Byas is like one of the most underrated saxophone players. And you know, if you examine what he was actually playing in those days, it sounds like it could have been played today. It was just like so ahead of its time, but always melodically sound and very, you know, tasteful and artful. And he made a series of duo recordings with the bassist Slam Stewart. So we're about to pay a tribute to that with the great Richard Rodgers classic called Lover. Thank you. Love her. It's a little after Valentine's Day, but you know, that's Richard Rogers. Thank you. Okay, I would like to invite the band back up to the stage, Mr. Mayer and Mr. Ricurdi. Thank you, Brandon. That was killing, man. Woo. That's what we call New York tempo. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to do a tune made famous. Is it Lanza or Landa? Oh, but you know it, right? Like, we'll just do it in C, but because he has it in C. Yeah, he has your extra. You got the extra. You got the one in C. Okay, this is made famous by Mario Lanza. This is written by Nicholas Brodsky and Sammy Khan. And this is also a track off my album. There's so many different ways of playing jazz. And John and Roy's generation just have this elegance when it comes to swinging. It's elegant. It's like a finely aged scotch, you know. Seriously, or like a nice wine, or you know, it takes years of playing the music and being in it and living the lifestyle to in my opinion anyway, to play that way, that authentically. And so I wanted some of that on my album, even though I'm nowhere near that. But I wanted some of that on my album, and so I did a tune that John hasn't recorded a lot, but he had a beautiful version of. So we decided on this tune. This is, I believe, track number 5 or 6 on LA Source Codes. It's just a trio with us, but anyway, this is Be My Love. Just right on it. Oh, you want to do an intro? Thank you. Be my love. Let's do It Ain't Necessarily So. Can you get that? All right, so this next tune is a tune from the musical Porgy and Bess. Now, back in the days, that's how songs got popular. Now we have Spotify and we have YouTube streams, Instagram likes. You could pay for bots to give you 20,000 followers. But back in those days, you know, songs got popular through being featured in musicals. And so this is a tune called It Ain't Necessarily So by George and Ira Gershwin. And, you know, I really love the musical. If you get a chance to watch it, there are a couple really good versions online. And so this tune is sung by a character in the musical called Sportin' Life. And Sportin' Life is kind of this, like, you know, kind of like a low life, you know, kind of hustler, but got a great personality. And the lyrics, I won't sing the lyrics because they're kind of sacrilegious. And but, you know, if you look up the lyrics, they're pretty brilliant. And so we're about to do this arrangement for you called It Ain't Necessarily So. Thank you. It ain't necessarily the so. Because it ain't necessarily so. And, one of the reasons I love the Gershwin brothers is that, not every Broadway composer did this, but the Gershwin brothers really knew a thing or two. And they would go to the South and they would listen to sharecroppers sing their melodies while they were working. And that's how they got that was one of the many ways that they got their inspiration for all the amazing songs and music that they wrote. And so, the inherent DNA, the roots of American music, the blues, they were always present in the Gershwin tunes. So that's one of the reasons I love doing that tune. And so we're going to move along here. I had the privilege of the past year and a half getting to study with the most recorded jazz bassist of all time. That's a pretty big, I was, got really lucky. And this man is named Maestro Ron Carter. So I studied with him for the past year and a half at Manhattan School of Music, and he's been amazing. During the auditions, he told me to say hi to Roy. So he's like, tell Mr. Lyle, tell Mr. McCurdy I said hi. And that was just kind of a funny moment there. And he has an amazing. He has two amazing bands that he tours the world with still in his 80s. And one of them is a quartet, and the other one is a trio. And this tune is done by both groups, and this is called Samba de Orfeu. And this is also released as Sweet Happy Life. Peggy Lee did a version of this song that totally isn't as good, but I mean, I know she does a good job, but it's just like it gets like the '60s lounge treatment, I had to play that on many a gig. So I like the original more. So this is called Samba de Orfeu. Okay. Do a little intro. I got the melody. Have an A one more time. If there's one thing I took from my bass lessons, is to tune every half hour. Maestro is insisted on tuning every half hour. And I think certain people of a certain artistic temperament have varying, some days some days they're very encouraging, and then other days they'll tell you have absolutely no future in this. And But one of the things I love about him is he plays. If you play an etude really well for him, he'll play a clapping sound effect on his phone. So Mr. Lyle, good job. And it's like, that makes you feel good. So here's Samba Jorfu. Let's just do an intro on C. 1, yeah, C25. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you, Samba Jurafeu. I'm having such a good time. Okay, cool. We have room for a couple more. Great. Yeah, that was not only for my teacher, Maestro Carter, but that was also for my dad. Because my dad loves Brazilian music. He loves samba. And he's always bugging me on gigs. He's like, why don't you play any show Beam? It's like, I don't want to play Girl from Ipanema. I had the idea of playing it, but you know. Yeah, there are more tunes than just that one. Okay, so we'd like to do something a little more up now. We're gonna do a tune by the very underrated great pianist Duke Pearson called Janine. Do you have it on there? You got it? You want to do it in G minor? Okay, do it G minor. Can you play it in G minor? I'm not that good at transposing. Okay. All right, we might do something else. Okay, no, we got it. Okay. We're all educated musicians. No, it's all good. No, come on. We're having a good time. So this is Janine by the great Duke Pearson. Duke Pearson wrote some interesting tunes. You know, if you go to a New York jam session, a lot of his tunes are played. And I learned quickly, because in New York they play them. They don't play them anywhere else in the world. And so it's pretty scary as, you know, walking in, you don't know what the song is. But this is a tune that's a little more familiar. This is called Janine. Thank you. We got it. Janine. Okay, we have one more tune for you this evening. Thank you for being such a magnificent audience, and many of you for staying. Thank you all for staying. I have a lot of very special people here. I got my dad and my stepmom Lori. Please give them a round of applause. I got Coach George here from Little League and his son Grant. Please give a round of applause. I got the Kwan family and Miss Kelly, the Kwans and the Greens. They're like my surrogate family. Anytime I get mad at my regular family, I go hang out with them. They have me over for New Year's every year if I don't have a gig. Yeah, it's pretty great. And my publicist and radio promoter, Mr. Ben Schultz, is here with his girlfriend Shayna. They helped. They helped with all the promotion of the CD. They got it on hundreds of radio stations across the country. So yeah, it was pretty cool. They really, really outdid themselves, and so I'm so happy that they made it down. And Ben actually came and listened to me in New York, so he's a great dude. And I got a lot of other great musicians in the house tonight. And I want to thank you all one more time for being here. So please give it up for the great John Mayer on piano. My buddy, the great Brandon Wilkins on tenor saxophone. And the Dominator, Mr. Roy McCurdy on the drums. Thank you, Roy. My name is LYLE. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Let's play rhythm and okay. Or you like Olio? Olio. All right, let's do Olio. Is that cool? Sure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. That was the Sonny Rollins classic Oleo. Thank you very much. Please give it up again for my band. Thank you for listening. We have CDs on sale for $20 each. This is Newport Beach prices. It's very helpful if you support the musicians. You buy the physical copy. You take the music home. If you still have a CD player, hopefully my car doesn't even have a CD player. But it's really I'm very proud of the record and very proud of the musicians on it, and we hope you can support us. It will go to the band, not just me. I'm splitting the proceeds, so all the more reason for you to buy a copy. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Get home safe, and take care. Thank you for supporting live music.
I don't buy sugar. You just have to touch my cup. You're my silver tasty lips seems the honey that fairly drips. Your confection, goodness knows, you're my honeysuckle rose, yeah.